Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Got 5 games in the NBA here on Thursday, and we've got lines that are nice and early. So I'm going to be taking a look at these early lines with you guys. I don't have any bets down on the card yet. These are just the early looks and leans, so I can recheck them tomorrow on Thursday, as I'm not betting the night before. Like I said, that is a great way to get your account limited. If you consistently get closing line value and bet too early, these books are going to ping you, start to take notice, and then you're a lot more likely to have your account get limited and your max bet get lowered, right? So you don't really want to mess with any of that stuff. So no bets yet, but these are all leans, and hopefully these will help you make your plays on Thursday. Had a really good night on Wednesday, so happy to go through that with you guys and give you a chance to get a free month of VIP access where we are climbing sky high, still getting nice on the units there. So if that all sounds good, go ahead and give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Looking good so far here on Wednesday night. Still live with these games, so don't have the last 2 bets there at the bottom completely cashed yet. Feeling good, though, right now. Ant Edwards, knock on wood, and Donovan Clingan went under both of them on their boards there. And we're in a good spot right now. The reason I went under for Clingan is a bad matchup against the Knicks, and I see a ton of outs for him getting like 15, 16 minutes in this game. He did play 11 in the first half, and we're in the third, maybe start of the fourth quarter right now, and he should still be at about 5. And I was banking on him not playing much in the second half. He's not made for this game with the way that Cat's out there, and they've got Toumani Camara guarding Cat, which means he's been guarding Josh Hart. Hasn't really been successful so far. So feeling good about his under there. And then Ant, we go under on his boards against Denver because he guards Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray is forcing him to just pulling him away from the basket, and he's just chasing him around, basically face guarding him the whole time. It's a big reason why he's only had about 6 rebound chances per game against the Nuggets over the course of their last 5-6 regular season games dating back to last season. But starting with these losses as well, just moving our way up, Desmond Bane did not hit the points, and Pritchard went under, but we didn't get Boston to win. So for Desmond Bane, I don't know why he's not shooting right now. 21.5 points for him was low compared to what he's been doing when he plays about 34, 35 minutes. He and Ja both ended up playing about 32, so like 1 or 2 minutes below my projection, but not enough for him to only be taking like less than 15 shots per game right now for Desmond Bane. I don't quite understand it. He did get the dimes. Ja got us there, but we'll have to revisit why Desmond Bane's usage is so low. For Pritchard, love the assists. I added the Boston -2.5 because we get the negative correlation where if you take an under for Pritchard, but you take the Celtics to win, those things are negatively correlated. So that gives you a bit better juice. That's plus 186 there on that one. Didn't hit because the Celtics couldn't keep it close there. And well, it was a 6-point loss, but they still lost, right? Keep it close to winning by 3, which is what we needed. Either way, love the under for assists for Pritchard when he's got everybody else out there, including Drew, including Derek White, obviously Brown and Tatum. When all 4 of those guys are out there, there's no reason for him to be diming up. And when he plays a good assist defense like the Thunder, a good defense in general, then it's not likely that he's going to have the ball in his hands very much. So love going back to him in these situations, under 2 or 3.5 on the dimes. Working our way up here on the wins. Niang 4 boards. Every time that he's going to be out there without Capella, it's about 24 to 28 minutes for him. 24 to 28 minutes equals 4 to 5 rebounds for Niang. So you get that, and at 4+ for him, you're in a good spot. And I parlayed it with Miles Bridges there to get 20+ points. Got plus 127. Bridges has been killing it lately, and he had a great matchup against this Hawks squad without anybody that could really hang with him. And then Ja got us the points. Kind of creeped over there at the end, but we still got there. I think he had 28 to end the game. A nice over for us again with the dude who's number 1 in transition in the league, basically playing against the worst transition defense in the league. They resorted to a zone, which actually almost cost us on Ja because he's not good against the zone, not a very good catch and shoot guy, but he ended up hitting a couple threes that got us over on his points in the fourth quarter. And so we're grateful to him for that win there. Bradley Beal loved the look, and I'll keep going back to it in that matchup against Houston because it's him versus Fred VanVleet. So he actually led the Suns in scoring, went with 25, should have bladdered this thing for sure. Felt good about his points there. He's burned me in the past, so I kind of wussed out on the going up to 20 or 25, but love that he cashed easy for us in the third quarter. And Lou Dort, another very favorite look of mine today, always going to be playing a ton of minutes against the Celtics, like 38 to 40, because he's guarding Tatum and then he's guarding Brown. So as soon as Tatum comes off the court, Lou Dort stays on the floor and then guards Jaylen Brown the rest of the quarter, right? Like that's how he's matched up against this team. And we also had no J-Dub, no Jalen Williams for the Thunder. So this was a great look for Lou Dort, who gets more minutes and more shots against the Celtics all the time. And we're going to keep coming back to that whenever these teams face off. So if you do want to get into the VIP for a free month, hoping to be up about 49 units after the last two bets cash here tonight. We're up 47.5 right now. But if you do want to jump in, Doing a lot in there. Got the VIP picks as well as analysis and all the write-ups. Also have the VIP chat, which I'm very grateful for, as we have a lot of good bettors in there that are helping us out with looks every day. So there's a lot more to come than just my bets. And also the one-on-one sports betting sessions. If you guys do want to get into some one-on-one stuff with me, I'm offering meetings to those who are in the VIP with myself for some coaching sessions, help you build up some better habits and trim some of those bad habits. So if you want to get in there for a free month, sign up for any of the books that you see scrolling underneath me right here. They're all linked in the description of the video as well. And if you use code LYB, sign up, and then that'll get you all your free bonus bets and your money. And then send me a screenshot at JLBoogie on Twitter or Discord, and I'll go ahead and get you a free month of access so you can see if it's worth it for you. You kind of just sign up using the code and help me out with my partnership, and I'll go ahead and get you a free month of VIP. But let's go ahead and jump into what we've got here for these early looks on Thursday. As always, going to be using Props Madness, the #1 sports betting research tool available for everything that you need for hoops betting here. If you do want to sign up for this, use code LYB. You'll get a free trial for 7 days to make sure that you like this platform. You'll also get 25% off your first month by using code LYB when you sign up. So let's go ahead and kick it off here on Thursday. We got a rematch of the Wizards and the Pistons, and we know that this was a pretty nice game for the Wizards. They won by 20 here in this last game. And what I want to point out is that while obviously we know the Pistons, big favorites, 15 points in this one, they should dominate and have a good time of this game. They've got a big game coming up against the Thunder in 2 days, and they've shown that they really want to hang with the big dogs in the league and compete. So that's why it doesn't seem like they're going to play all their guys full minutes. So what I'm looking at in this one is unders for some of the starters for the Pistons and overs for the backups. And specifically on the Pistons, I'm looking at Dennis Schroeder. I think we're going to be able to get a really good number on his points and assists. If this is at 15.5 tomorrow, I love that. If it's at 14.5, I obviously love it even more. And I'd probably play this up to 16.5 points and assists combined for Schroeder. You saw he had 15 in this last game right here where they just played. He had 23 minutes in that 20-point win, 10 potential assists in that game. And as far as the shots go, I can actually just hover over it again and see he took 11 shots. Bad shooting night, 4 for 11 from the field, 36%. I think he's good for at least another 23, if not probably 25 to 26 minutes in this game. So first thing I'm looking at here is just how has he performed when he plays about, let's say, like I said, maybe 24, 28 minutes as sort of the range that we have for him in this game. Just giving him a little bump. He's at 17.1 points per game, points and assists combined in these situations. I think he should be projected for about 17.5 points and assists combined in about 25 to 26 minutes in this game. And obviously everything that he wants to do here is going to be available to him. As far as the assists go, this team is terrible down low for the Wizards, and they're going to be worse than they normally are, as they've only got Alex Sarr and Vukcevic behind him as the centers, the young rooks there. And then everything as far as like three-pointers out on the break, down in the corner, the assists are going to be available for Schroeder. So it's really just, is he playing the minutes? Because between he and Cade, these guys are going to have big nights against the Wizards defense. So I'm going to wait to see what market pressure does to this bet, see if we can get this at 14.5 tomorrow. But I think Schroeder's going to be in line for a few more minutes. So I'm going to be looking for his overs on the points and the dimes. The other guy like that is going to be Beef Stew. And instead of the points and dimes, we look at the points and rebounds for him. So combined, it's at 12.5 for him. And once again, we got to manipulate the minutes. And that's one of the best parts of Props Madness here, is we can go to the advanced filters and see what he does when he plays a few more minutes than normal. And on the season, he's averaging 19.8, about 20 minutes per game. I think we should give him about 22 to 25, or let's say 21, 25. So it's about an average of 23, and see what he does in those situations on the season. 21 minutes as the floor and 25 minutes as the ceiling, and we get him at about 13.6 PR per game. But you got to give him a bump in this matchup, right? He just played in this last game, 21 minutes in that victory, 6 shots, got to the free throw line, and then 12 rebound chances to get 7 boards. And that's all in 21 minutes. So 12 rebound chances in 21 minutes is more than, half a rebound chance a minute that he's out there. So he's going to be in line for better volume with a few more minutes than I think 21 that he just got. And if you look at how this team defends everything down low, one of the worst defenses, and he's scoring almost 70% of his points from right here inside the restricted area. As the pick and roll man, that's how he's scoring the bulk of his points, screening for guys like Schroeder and like Cade Cunningham, and then going up here against the third worst pick and roll defense against the roll man, right, specifically. Also very bad giving up free throws, very bad on putbacks and whatever. Like, this is just one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't need to tell you why. It's just about Stewart getting minutes. And if he gets the minutes, I love him in a really easy matchup here to get at least 14 or 15 PR on Thursday night. One thing to consider as we're talking about this is like it's a nice sort of parlay. If you think Cade's not going to be in line for quite as many minutes, maybe you take like an under on his PRA, an under on a guy like I said, Jalen Duren, to make sure that he's also rested. Although Duren's young and I don't think they're worried about him, so he'll probably still get decent minutes. But for Cade, maybe like an under on the PRA combined with like an over for Schroeder and also the Pistons to win. And now you're talking about the negative correlation of Cade Cunningham going under, but the Pistons winning, right? And that's going to get you a bit better odds as well if you parlay those things together. So we'll be talking about that on the live show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern here on Thursday. And if you're not familiar with that live show, hope to see you guys there on Thursday. Tune in every day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Gonna have a couple guests on tomorrow. Got Jedi Modi coming on, as well as Prop Bomb, the homie. So we'll be looking at this stuff together. You guys bring your bets and jump in the comments, and then we'll look at Props Madness. I'll share my screen and all that, and hopefully we'll find some value as these injury reports and stuff get finalized. But definitely gonna be talking about those parlays here in that Pistons and Wizards game. One more look for this game. I actually like an under on dimes. The assists here for Chris Middleton, they're at 3.5. And I think we might be able to get them at 4.5. Not positive, but 3.5 is still a good under for him. Here's what I'm looking at. He's played now 5 games with the Wizards with Jordan Poole available, right? Because he's played a couple games without Jordan Poole on the Wizards, and he had some pretty good assists in those games. But the key here is the potential assists. They're not very high. The minutes are also not very high. 26, 25, 24, 24. So let's put him at 24, 26 minutes, right? That about 25 on the game. And in those situations here, 6 potentials, 4 potentials, 7 against the Blazers. And then we don't know against the Raptors, but we can assume about 4 or 5 because he had just 2 assists. And then 4 potentials, 0 assists in this last game against the Pistons just a couple of days ago. This is not a good matchup for anybody getting assists. And I'll likely be going back to Bub Carrington unders as well, which I did last game, but we don't have props up for Carrington. But Middleton is another great under on dimes against what is the 6th best overall in terms of limiting assists. The Pistons are that good on defense. And then as far as like the Middleton's position as sort of like a point forward, this team is 9th best limiting assists to his position. So there's not much to like about Middleton assists. I don't think the potentials are going to be high enough. And these are sort of outliers, like getting 4 potential assists and 5 dimes, big outlier. And then getting 7 potential assists and 5 dimes, another outlier. You should usually expect about 50 to 55% of the potential assists to turn into regular assists. And this 5 out of 7 is crazy high, right? More than 3/4 of the potential assists turning into assists is not something that you bank on happening consistently. And this is one of the best assist defenses in the league. So I'm going to be going under on the 3.5 dimes here. Maybe we'll be able to get 4.5 for the under here for Chris Middleton. As we jump into Lakers Bucks, go ahead and give the video a like if you would. Great way to support the channel. If you're getting any help from the bets and the looks that we're bringing you here, much, much appreciated. But as we get into Middleton's old team, the Bucks hosting the Lakers, and I don't know what's up with Luka yet. He's still questionable. Has I believe it's a hammy, maybe the back as well. So there's some stuff that we don't know, which is mostly important for this Lakers squad here. Here's the thing, I think we can already bet on this bet for Austin Reeves. And once again, I haven't bet it yet. Somebody's betting it because this opened at 9.5 on a couple bets like books like Hard Rock and Bet365, which we kind of call the Rudy Poo bets, sports books. But DraftKings has this at 10.5. I have this at 12.5. I think there's no reason that this rebounds and assists combined for Austin Reeves should be below 12.5. Let's just look on the season, what he's done without LeBron James in terms of the rebounds and assists, right? There's now been 4 games, including this last one against the Nets, where he had 14 rebound chances and 15 potential assists against the Nets. That turned into 8 boards, 10 dimes. So he had 18 rebounds and assists combined. Right, averaging 16.5 on the season in the 4 without LeBron James, and just it's very, very uplifting that he had 18 rebounds and assists combined in this last game against the Nets without LeBron and with Luka. Meaning this is going to go way up if Luka is ruled out. I would hit this now because this is a great bet to hit even with Luka in. So even if Luka gets ruled in, this is good at 10.5. Right, I don't think we're going to lose any value on it. So again, be careful with how much you bet before the night before games, as that's a great way to get the books to notice you and get them to limit you. But as soon as the limits raise, right, you'll notice that when you try to bet too much money early on, like right now, the books won't allow you to bet more than maybe $200, maybe $50, right? Because early on in the betting process right now, they're limiting people. But tomorrow morning, those limits will go back up to $1,000, $2,000 per bet. And even though you're not going to bet that much, that is a telltale sign that it's now okay to bet, and these books aren't going to ping you for betting too early. If that doesn't make sense to anybody, hit me in the comments. Happy to explain that. But the bottom line is, against this Bucks defense, I don't care who it is, 10.5, 11.5, all these rebounds and assist numbers for Austin Reeves are too low, and I'm going to be betting the over tomorrow morning. Moving to Nets and Bulls, I do have a bet in this one, but we should know that we're waiting on news. Giddey is probably not going to play. It also looks like Lonzo is not going to play. They're both doubtful, so we don't really need to know what's going to happen. I think we can assume we're not going to get Josh Giddey props. We're not even going to get props for Lonzo. Those guys are doubtful and not likely to play. So where do we go from here? Well, Kevin Huerter's a great bet, and we always look at spot-up shooters versus this Nets team, because if you come down here to play type analysis, you'll see Kevin Huerter is scoring most of his points, almost half of them, 42% off the spot up. And the Nets overpressure the ball, and that's why they're the fourth worst defense limiting spot up shooters, right? So now we get a situation where Huerter's playing without Josh Giddey, without Lonzo Ball, no Ayo Dosunmu still. So we're talking about him starting alongside Kobe White and then Matas Buzelis. And we don't quite know about Vooch. But the most important thing here for Huerter is great scenario with what I predict to be another big minutes game for him. In this last game against the Pacers, 34 minutes. 30 minutes against the Heat, only 25 against the Magic, and then 28 against the Raptors. But he's basically been here since, I want to make sure I don't mess this up. He's been here for, a bunch of, basically since the end of January, beginning of February, is right around the trade deadline. But when he started getting minutes here in these last few, 6 games or so, we're now talking about a 30-minute a game guy. And some of these are with Josh Giddey and all these other guys, and now they're not there. So we comfortably project him for 34, which he just played with Giddey out there, right? Now Giddey's gone. That's going to be a few more minutes for a guy like Huerter, who took 15 shots, just had a really bad shooting night against the Pacers, and now we're coming up against a worse spot-up defense against the spot-up, I should say, for the Nets. So this is going to be a look tomorrow. 13.5 is a great play. I mean, let's just take his minutes and bump them up for a minute and assume that he's going to play about 30 to 34 minutes in this game. You can see on the season, he's mostly played with the Kings, right? He got traded. And if we look, this is the first game right here against the Suns that he played with the Bulls. And in these games against the Bulls, he's getting a lot more shots up, 15, 13, 12, 12. If you look at the games with the Kings where he played 30 to 34 minutes, he took 8 shots, 14 because there was guys missing, then 7 and 12. So he's averaging about 8 shots per game, even when he got these amount of minutes with the Kings. Now that he's on the Bulls, he's a much bigger focal point of the offense. And it's really looking like a good bet here with the usage and the minutes for Huerter against a very bad spot-up defense for Brooklyn. I didn't have time to get to the Magic and the Pellies. They just released these props, and I wanted to get this video out the night before, like I said. So I'm looking at Kings at Dubs, and Domas Sabonis is questionable. So there's a chance that he plays in this game, but Brandon Podziemski on the other side is for sure out. And then the biggest news is Jonathan Kuminga is going to be making his return for the Dubs. So that scares me a bunch from taking too much stuff here. We haven't seen Kuminga play with Jimmy Butler back on the team. But one thing that I do know is Draymond Green is not a 10-point per game scorer. That's just not what he does. And this is still at 9.5 points because he had a nice run here where he was getting a bunch of buckets, hit some nice, hit 75% from 3 a couple games. So good for him. Not going to keep happening. And against the Kings, if you look at this head-to-head, he has one game getting to 10 points. Again, that was without Kuminga. So what I want to know is, what does he do when he plays with Kuminga on the season? So I'm going to games with and without, and I'm taking Kuminga and I'm putting him on the court and saying he's playing. And we're looking at about 9.6 points per game in the last 22, but on the season overall, about 9 per game with Kuminga, under 9.5 in, 20, most of the games of the 28 that he's played, 16 to 28 going under this number here. So pretty good hit rate to the under with Kuminga in general. But then you also add, now we've got Jimmy Butler in there. Moses Moody has been playing really well, including this last game where he just put up 20 against the Blazers. So they're going to want to keep getting him shots. There's a lot more to go around. Quentin Post, I should add, is also back now, and not back, but is now adding minutes and taking away certain minutes from other guys. So I have Draymond projected for about 28 minutes in this game. And if you put him at about 28 minutes on the season, let's say you give him a range of about 26 to 30 this season. If you just look at the points in these situations as well, it's 9.1. It's not 10. It's just not going to be 10. It's going to be about 8 or 9 points for him. And especially anything under 9, I really like this for Draymond as an under on the points and not anything else. He's going to do a good job rebounding and assisting, but the points are a very good under for him as he's going to be a low usage player. All right, don't forget, if you do want to jump into the VIP for a free month, go ahead and use code LYB and sign up for any of the books that you see scrolling under me, also listed in the description of the video. Happy to have you guys in there and checking it out, and hope to see y'all on the live show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern here on Thursday. Like I said, a couple of really nice guests that will be looking at this 5-game slate. I think there's going to be some value. I think we might have like some reasonably stable injury reports that we're going to be able to work with. So hope to see y'all there. And until I do, happy betting.